Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to discuss the subject international business for first semester students of MCOM BNU. So in the last video we started the last chapter and we discussed all about the integration, regional integration and economic integration. So I told you what is economic integration. Economic integration, it is generally nothing but it is an arrangement. What it is? It is an arrangement among the nations. So economic integration, in the sense, it is an arrangement among the nations that typically includes the reduction of tariffs and elimination of the trade barriers. So economic integration here, in the sense, some countries will together make a group in order to reduce the trade barriers and reduce the tariff or the tax structures. So if two or more countries have an economic integration, if they are trading with each other like import and export, if one country is exporting from another country, if one country is importing from another country, the trade is international trade is going on between those countries. So here, if they are trading together for a very long time, why they cannot um, take benefits from each other? So taking economic benefits like reducing the tariff rates and also some other trade barriers, so that arrangement is called as economic integration. So here there are some levels. So economic integration levels are there. So level 1 is free trade. So one is free trade, as you can see here, free trade. So what is this free trade? So in the chart itself it is given reduction of tariffs between the members. So reduction of tariffs between the members. So tariff is a tax which is implied for trading the goods internationally. So free trade, reduction of the tariff structures and other tax structures. So that is called as free trade. So tariffs, that is tax imposed on imported goods between member countries, are significantly reduced, some abolished. So here the tax which is implied on the imported goods, if your one country is importing goods from another country, on those imported goods the tariff is applied. So here types of tariffs, in that some are reduced and some are abolished, means the eradication of those tariffs were happened, and each member country keeps its own tariffs in regard to third country. So if UK is importing from US, so UK has a tariff structure of their own and US has a tariff structure of their own. Another country, like example our India, it has its own tariff structure. If these three countries have entered into economic integration, for each of them they will help and they will reduce some tariff structures and some tariffs will be abolished, that will be eradicated to trade between them. So free trade, in the sense, eradication or reduction or significantly reducing the tariff rates, that is the free trade. So level of economic integration here, they are aiming for the reduction of the tariff rate, that is the tax imposed on imported goods. Next is customs union. So custom duty, we all know the custom duty. So sets common external tariffs among member countries. Same here, the impose of the custom duty between the external tariffs, here in the sense between those member countries, the customs will be reduced, implying that the same tariffs are applied to third country. So here I told you the example, just for example, US, UK and India. So in between this, if US is imposing the rate, say for example one rate of external tariff to UK, the same rate should be applied to India. So whatever the member countries, the integration they are doing, that same rate should be there for the other third country also. Next is common market. So here common market means service and capital are free to move to the member countries or among the member countries. Free movement of capital and services between the member countries, whatever the countries which have an arrangement, those between those member countries, there is free flow of capital as well as free flow of the services. There is no restrictions. So however, each national market has its own regulation such as product standards. So here there is a free movement of capital and services, but each country, like India, if from India they have free movement of capital and services of US, means they are not ignoring their country's rules and regulations. So India's rules and regulations relating to their product standard, if the US products are meeting the product standards which is set by Indian government, means there will be free flow of capital and services to the US product. Unless if they are not meeting with the product standards, they are not going to provide that common market to the US. Next is economic union. So here economic union in the sense single market. So single market, all tariffs are removed for trade between the member countries. So we have learned in the free trade that the tariffs are reduced or some are abolished. So here in economic union, all the tariffs are removed for the member countries and creating a uniform or the single market for the free movement of labor, enabling workers to work in the member country is able to move and work in another member country. So here there is a single market, free movement of laborers. So those who want to work in other countries, US example, I am taking the same example, UK and India, they can easily move their laborers to various members countries, and there is eradication of the tariffs between the member countries. So here they are providing one single market for the member countries. Next is political union. So political union here, integration of common government. So common government between the member countries. The sovereignty of the member countries is significantly reduced. So here sovereignty of those member countries are reduced, only found within the nation state, such as federation, where there is a central government as well as there is an authority for the regional government also. So the federal government is adopted in the countries. So one central government will be there and another regional government will be there. So if in one country there is a federal government, the other member country which wants to become a member, they must also have a common government like the federal government. Two authorities will be there, one central government, another is state government. So India is having dual economy. So dual economy here, central government and the state government. So the common government, common system of the government should be there in the opposite country who wants to become a member or who wants to enter into the economic integration, as it will be easy for them to decide the tariff rates, to decide the trade barriers, etc. So if they have a single economy, if they have single authority in their nation, there will be a difference in the economy and there will be lots of troubles for them to cooperate with the economic integration. So these are the levels of economic integration: free trade, custom union, common market, economic union and political union. So this is all about the economic integration and its level of integration. Next is European Union. Next concept is European Union, EU. So I think all of you have listened, you have gone through with this word, and I think many of you are an aspirant for NET, SLET, and there are also some of them are trying to appear in some of the competitive exams. So for all of them it is very important concept, whichever it's coming, like European Union, NAFTA and Asian World Trade Organization. These are some of the international unions from which the questions are going to be asked maximum. So let's discuss this European Union. So EU Union, it is also again a group or arrangement of a member countries. So what is this European Union? European Union is a political and economic union of 27 member countries. Before it was 28, now at current it is 27 member states that are locally located or primarily located in the Europe. So only in Europe 27 member countries, their political and economic union, that is called as European Union. So that operates economic and political bloc. So all the things relating to the economy and politics is dealt in this European Union. 19 of the countries use the euro as their official currency. So euro is an currency. So among the 27 countries, the 19 countries are using the euro as the official currency. The euro grew out a desire to form a single European political entity to end the centuries of warfare which happened in the Second World War. So whatever happened, whatever the disaster happened in the World War II, to overcome that, the European Union came into force and 27 member countries enter into it, and among them the 19 countries have adopted euro as their official currency. And European single market was established by 12 countries. Before it was 12 countries who first came into they came forward and entered the agreement in the year 1993 to ensure the 4 freedoms. So what is the 4 freedom they want between the country was free movement of goods, free movement of services, free movement of people here in the sense the laborers, and free movement of money here in the sense the capital. So goods, services, laborer and capital, these 4 things free movement. For the purpose of this, the European Union came into force and 12 member countries at the earliest stage in the year 1993 they form an union that is called as European Union. Now at the present stage 27 member countries are there in the European Union. Among them the 19 countries have adopted euro as their official currency. So let's see the establishment. The headquarters is located in Brussels, Belgium, and it was founded 1st November 1993, Maastricht, Netherlands. So founded at Netherlands 1993, 1st November, and the headquarters is in Belgium. So now let's see the member countries, the 27 member countries. So first is Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain and Sweden. So these are the 27 member countries who have entered into the European Union agreement for the free flow of goods, services, capital and laborers, that is money and people. So now what are the activities, for what purpose they came into existence? Let's see that. So elimination of custom duties, quantitative restrictions with regard to exports and import. Obviously if some countries have entered into member countries have entered into an agreement internationally, their main purpose is to reduce the restrictions on the imports and the exports. So here customs duties elimination was the first main activity which is aimed by the member countries, and it was possible with the European Union. Next main objective was establishment of common tariffs and commercial policies. Obviously, customs duty elimination was the first main aim. Next activity was the tariffs, that is the tax imposed on the imported goods. Next was abolition of all the obstacles, that is the difficulties or the problems for the movement of persons, services and capital. So as we have already seen that the main aim of framing this European Union was a free movement of goods, services, money and laborers. So here the main activity which has to be focused was the removal of all the obstacles for the movement of the goods, services, people and capital. Next is application of programs in order to coordinate the economic policies. So whatever the policies, economic policies relating to the trade, that is reduction of the customs duty, reduction of the tariff rates, etc. So making those economic policies, the integration between the 27 member countries should be there. That was a main activity or the main object of framing this European Union. So this is all about the European Union. This is also one of the main concept for your first semester examination point of view, and also for NET, SET and other competitive exams. So whatever the things I have done in this slide, that is more than enough for you to face those questions. Next is regional trade bloc is NAFTA. So NAFTA stands for North American Free Trade Agreement. So one thing whichever we are studying here, it is all about the international business. So international business, import, export, relating whatever the barriers, obstacles, whatever the tax restrictions are there, in order to reduce that, in order to free movement of the capital, goods, services, etc. The unions, the organization, the agreements, many unions, many we can say many associations were happened. So we are just going through the history. In history, whatever the association agreements were taken in what date and for what purpose they made those things. So NAFTA is again an that type of an association and agreement. So it is about North America. Earlier we studied about the Europe, the European countries. Here is all about North America Free Trade Agreement. So it is an agreement signed by Canada, Mexico and United States. So here three member countries are there. One is Mexico, Canada and United States, creating a trilateral rules based trade bloc in North America. The agreement came into force on January 1994. So January 1994, the agreement was came into force. It superseded the Canada United States Free Trade Agreement between the US and Canada. So earlier, January 1st, 1994, Canada and US entered into the agreement. Next, the Mexico came into the agreement. So let's see what are its activities. So members, as I said, there are three members: Canada, Mexico and US. So supplements means there is a two part of this agreement. One part is North American Agreement on Environmental Cooperation. So first focus was on protection of our environment, because if environment is good, everything will be good. If the environment is good, the people will be protected. Environmental is good, it is good for the trade, good for the taking the raw materials and the kacha goods for making the goods and the services. All those things for the first main was environmental cooperation. So North American Agreement on Environmental Cooperation, NAAEC. Next is North American Agreement on Labor Cooperation. So see, for the trade we must have two main things. Obviously capital is also needed, but only you have capital, you don't have a good nature, you don't have laborers to work in your factory, having idle money is not useful for your business. So you must have the good nature to take the kacha goods for your business, and you must have laborers who will work for your business to your business in the factory. So their main supplements were main first was on environment, next is on labor. You can easily remember. So North American Agreement on Environmental Cooperation first, that is focus on environment. Next, North American Agreement on Labor Cooperation, NAALC. Next, let's see the objectives, for what purpose this NAFTA came into existence. Sorry here spelling mistake is there. So objectives, first one is to create new business opportunities, particular in Mexico. So in Mexico, the creating the employment opportunity, so employment rate, to increase the employment rate, to reduce the unemployment rate, the main objective was creating the opportunities for employment, that is new business. To enhance the competitive advantage in companies operating USA, Canada and Mexico. So here US is a developed country, Canada, Mexico, they are all developed countries. So their companies are located all over the globe. So their main objective was that whatever the companies of US, of Canada, of Mexico, they must have a competitive advantage in front of the other country's company. That is the second objective of this NAFTA. To reduce the price of the products and services by enhancing the competition. So in being a good competitor, leader in the market, and also providing the reasonable goods price for the customers. Next is to enhance the industrial development and thereby employment through the region. So their main focus is on trade, its main focus is on building the competitive advantage of their companies, industrial development, and also providing a good employment opportunities for the newer entrepreneurs and enhancing the new business, etc. So objective of NAFTA is main on the competitive advantage. First they want to focus on environment, next is to the laborers. So the supplements is National American Agreement on Environmental Cooperation, National American Agreement on Labor Cooperation. So this is all about today's class. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comments below or in your WhatsApp group. So in coming videos, I'll be posting the video relating to World Trade Organization, ASEAN and Mercosur and Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, about this. After that, our remaining topics will be SAARC, and one more thing is there, about SAARC and GATT, that is General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. So after that your chapter will be completed. Thank you for watching the video. If you found this video helpful, you can subscribe to my channel, like the video and okay, take care, be safe.